because I think Magnezone is, well, every single one of you guys watching has a favorite Pokemon, and so do I. That's why today I want to take you guys with me to find out my top 10 favorite Pokemon. I use this website that you're seeing on screen right now, and the link for that is in the description. It takes you through every single over 1,000 Pokemon and has you select your favorites out of the group it provides, and eventually it picks your top favorites. Real quick before this starts though, if you guys enjoy this kind of video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new, and let's go ahead and get into it. Starting off with number 10, Dewgong. I know, go ahead and laugh at me. I want to see the comments hating on me for this one. I'd be lying if I said that I've ever used a Dewgong successfully, because its stats are pretty bad. But if you're judging me right now, I have two words for you. The face. Look at it. It's so cute. Hello, Dewgong. I'm getting over the flu right now. I don't feel very good. Anyway, this thing is totally useless, but it's totally slept on. I'm normally a really big fan of Pokemon that nobody else likes. As you'll see in my list, I have some of the worst takes ever, I promise you that. But Dewgong is definitely no exception. Almost every single Pokemon in Kanto has gotten some special attention. But then you have my boy Dewgong, who just got left on a Dew-Rod. That made no sense, bro. I need to go back to scripting my videos. It's not that interesting. It doesn't have that much to give. But why are you judging him for not having much to give? Dewgong, I love and accept you.
You are ugly.
Well, that was very rude. Now we're gonna move on to number 9, Magneton. Now you'll notice that I did not choose Magnemite nor Magnezone, because I think Magnezone is, well, sorry. It's not that I hate Magnezone nor do I hate Magnemite. I just think Magneton is the coolest looking of the three. There's something I like a lot when they don't go too crazy with the designs, and Magneton is definitely no exception to that rule. Magnemite's just a simple little ball with two magnets, and he's so cute with a giant eye. As I said in my video that you can find up here, where I ranked every single Pokemon in the entirety of existence, what happens when you mix 3 of the cutest Pokemon in the world? You get this. Oh, not this! You get this. Aww. Also, I've had a lot of luck with Magneton. I think it's, in many ways, with an Eviolite, pretty dang good, and I'm just a big fan of the design. It's relatively powerful, has an extra evolution if you really want the added strength, and is overall just cool looking. I get there's a lot of people who don't like when Pokemon just make Pokemon that looks like sentient objects, but when they get a cute little face and they look fun, they don't look as creepy as Comfey or Klefki. What are with these rings? Bring me back the balls. And now we have number 8, Regirock. Okay, this is gonna take some explaining. This is my second favorite legendary, no spoilers. There was a number 11th spot that I was thinking about adding as an honorable mention for my boy Regice. I love the Regis. Sorry, Registeel, you're okay. I love the Regis. I think the quests that you do to go on and find them are super sick. I love how they look. I like how they're just big ol' objects made out of the material of the element that they represent. I think they just do it well. They have the cool little things that you have to do and the cool faces with the dots. I just think they look super dope, and I think they're totally overhated. Now, they kind of suck when it comes to battling, but as someone who's not a pro battler, oh, I just broke everything. I just think they're cool to look at. And I'm not gonna lie, Regice is pretty sick. But you notice that Regirock is on this list, so why didn't Regice make the cut and take Magneton's spot? Well, it's only because of the shiny. I think Regirock shiny is super awesome, and Regice's changes very little. Can you name which one's the shiny one? Neither can I. I don't necessarily think that these guys should be classified as legendary, but I get why they are. I just think they're a super cool trio that gets a lot of hate. That brings us to number 7, Greninja. Alright, so this entry on the list is by far my most conformed opinion to society. I stand with a lot of other people that think that Greninja looks pretty cool. But as I've grown older, it's definitely slid down my list. It was my first ever Pokemon because my first ever Pokemon game was Pokemon X. I was very young and didn't know that Greninja was super popular, so I picked it at the time just because I thought blue was cool. I remember thinking that Frogadier was its final evolution, so I remember when like 10-year-old me was super surprised when I saw that it evolved one more time into Greninja. Now, Greninja was always my number 1 favorite until I started making Pokemon content in the last couple years, and you might be wondering why, what really happened? I think it's just because I've grown up now, and I've noticed that a lot of people like Greninja. And as I mentioned earlier, I really like Pokemon that don't get a lot of attention and that nobody else really likes. I much prefer to like stand for a certain Pokemon that everybody else hates, and I'll stand on that big old pedestal saying I love it. But with Greninja, everybody already loves it for the most part, so it's kind of hard to really set myself apart. And for that reason, I'm just kind of bored of seeing it. It's a similar situation to Charizard. You'll notice that Charizard's not on this list, but I like the Kanto starters quite a bit. I'm just tired of seeing them. I don't really get an opportunity to see a Dewgong, because when's the last time Dewgong's been available? I know it was available in the DLC. I had to use it the other day when I was sick. All right, great. Anyway, moving on to number 6, Trumbeak. Trumbeak has one of the coolest shinies ever, and so does Toucannon. Pikipek, not really. I mean, it's literally my channel colors. How could I not appreciate that? But a big reason that I like Trumbeak and not Toucannon, nor do I like Pikipek as much, is because Trumbeak is the epitome of a perfect middle stage evolution. I love it when they look super cool and almost like a transitionary period into a super badass Pokemon while still being really cute from the first stage. Pikipek is adorable, and I love Pikipek, and Toucannon's pretty awesome, but they needed like a nice middle ground to really show off the kind of evolution to badassness. You feel me? And it's like Trumbeak really does a good job of keeping that. I think it's the best regional bird of all time. I love the Pikipek line, and I really hate the fact that it was a normal flying type. I think it would have been much better as just a pure flying type, or even a fire flying type. But we already had Talonflame that was fire flying, so maybe not. And now we are in the top 5. So these Pokemon are my S tiers. I love them so much, and it was really hard to pick among these top 5, I'm not gonna lie. But number 5 is Jolteon. I think it's pretty hard to find a Pokemon YouTuber or just a Pokemon fan in general who doesn't have an evolution in their top 5 Pokemon of all time. I'm someone that's mentioned in many videos that has made a lot of people mad that I'm tired of seeing Eevee and its evolution. But what I've never said is, I hate any of them. I don't. I think they're all pretty cool. I just get tired of them being in every single game. But Jolteon is awesome. I think it looks so cute and so cool at the same time. And I could just drag this on and say more about the fact that I think it looks good, but that's pretty much it. I've never gotten a chance to use one because I've always wanted to use a newer Pokemon. I wish I could say more, except I just like it. Now it's time for number 4, my favorite legendary of all time, Xerneas. Look at this thing. It is so cool. I love when Pokemon, as I've mentioned 3 times now, that are cool and cute. And Xerneas does a perfect job of doing that. It's so regal, so royal. I feel like I'd just be in awe if I saw it in real life, while also looking like it could tear down an entire village. I also really like Yveltal. I think it looks pretty cool, but Yveltal looks like he just wants to steal my snacks, while Xerneas looks like he wants to share me an entire forest. I feel like anybody that plays competitive might actually hate Xerneas because I hear that he was pretty annoying in a lot of mainstream formats. However, as someone who's not a competitive fan whatsoever, I have to appreciate my first game and give love to my ex-boy, Xerneas. I remember a bad memory I had with Xerneas is that I was doing one of those Dynamax adventures, and I saw Xerneas was at the very end. I got super excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a 1 in 100, or maybe it was 1 in 300 without the Shining Charm chances, to get a shiny Xerneas. So I scroll down and I look at Xerneas, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's shiny. They just took the colors away from its horn. Apparently, multiple people thought that they got a shiny when they didn't, and I remember getting very upset because my heart was like, oh my gosh, adrenaline, I just got a shiny Xerneas, my first ever shiny legendary. Yeah, it didn't happen. If you want to know, my first ever shiny legendary was a Suicune. I got it 2 days ago, followed by a Groudon, so that's pretty cool. And now we've reached the top 3, my 3 favorite Pokemon of all time, and all 3 of these are from different generations. Number 3 is Meganium. Whoa!
You suck, Rob.
Hey! Who are you in the back booing me, bruh? Look, I know you guys probably hate Chikorita, you hate Bayleaf, you hate Meganium. Well, you know what? I don't care. Goodbye. I don't care. I don't care. Alright, sorry. I'm just joking. Here's the thing. Meganium is so cool. Well, sorta. Look, I'll be the first to admit, Chikorita looks stupid. I hate the little leaf on the top of its head, but Bayleaf is super cool. I find that a lot of people share my opinion on that when thinking that Meganium's kind of boring, but Bayleaf looks cool. So you're probably wondering, why in the world is Meganium my number 3rd spot? My 3rd out of all 1,000 Pokemon? Well, I've grown to love it. I used a Meganium in Pokemon Legends ZA very recently, and I thought it was just fine before, but I kind of fell in love with it. I think it's a super cool looking dinosaur, and the way that they made it looks so friendly, yet very strong at the same time. I don't know if they meant to, but it just looks more like a friendly herbivore compared to Mean and Meaner over here. And I like Mean and Meaner. Well, I don't really like Meaner. You're kind of mean for alligator. You have a toilet on your head. Take that. I wonder if 10-year-old me knew that one day I would be 20 years old talking to myself about Pokemon. Anyway, I think Meganium looks super cool. I didn't like its Mega very much. I thought it was kind of weird looking, but I thought that it was a super cool idea to make it Grass Fairy type, and I do believe that if the Johto games were made nowadays, I think Meganium would definitely have been Grass Fairy. And now we're moving on to my number 2 favorite Pokemon of all time, Avalugg. I like kitchen tables, I like to eat, therefore I like my table. Moving on, no, I'm kidding. Alright, so here's the deal about Avalugg. I think it looks super cute. Hisuian Avalugg's ugly, I'm not a fan of that whatsoever, but for a Pokemon meant to look like an iceberg, what does he do wrong? Literally nothing. I think Avalugg gets so much hate for absolutely no reason, and I'm tired of it. You know what? I'm putting my stamp down. This right here is the ROB stamp, and if you don't like Avalugg, you can leave. Actually, please don't leave. I'd rather us just be friends and disagree respectfully. You don't have to like Avalugg, but I'd appreciate if you do. Look at him. He looks like he's made out of glass. And it doesn't look like it's taken from the past. What am I talking about? And last but not least, my favorite Pokemon of all time, Raticate! Oh my gosh, let me tell you, I know, the masses are mad. Here's the thing about Raticate. Overhated. The coolest thing. Look at it. Look at his teeth. I can do it with my hands. Look at that. That's Raticate teeth. I love it so much. It is the cutest Pokemon of all time, and it's good. Okay, you can tell me it's bad, but put a Flame Orb on your next playthrough Raticate. Make sure you have the Guts ability, and let me know if it sucks still. And please don't compare it to Snorlax or Tauros. Compare it to a Weedle. But anyway, why do I like Raticate? Well, I don't see anybody love it. I've always been a fan of the crappier Pokemon, and Raticate's just really grown on me. It's almost become a little bit of a meme between me and my old streams that I was the only person in the entire world who was a Raticate stan through and through. Which brings me to the last part of this video, which is something that I want to talk to you guys about. We just hit 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm so grateful to each and every single one of you guys. I know I make a lot of jokes, but all of those aside, I really do appreciate every single one of you guys watching, liking, commenting, everything. So I have some news. Very soon, I will be working on a Rattata only playthrough of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Dude, I don't know how this is gonna go. I am probably gonna lose multiple times and get very frustrated. But if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. I love you guys so much. I will see you guys in the next video. You guys have a great day. See you guys next time. Good. Bye. See, that one was a nice one. I'm kidding. Let me know your favorite Pokemon below. Love you. Bye.